Hello everyone, I'm attorney Aiden Durham with 180 Law Co. in Colorado. You're watching All Up in Your Business, where today we're gonna go back through some of your comments and answer some of your questions. And looking over some of the questions that I'm gonna be addressing today, I can tell you that the general theme for today's video is going to be, it depends / I'll tell you, but you're not gonna like the answer. So get ready, buckle up, buddies, pals. Buckle up, friends. If you're new to All Up in Your Business, welcome. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget that while I am a lawyer, I am not your lawyer. The stuff I talk about in this video and all of my videos is not to be taken as a substitute for actual legal advice. If you need help with any legal situation, you should consult with a lawyer who's licensed in your state. All right, let's dive right in, shall we? When is the date of first use? We need to know. Trademark question. Trademark date of first use. The people need to know. Listen, you guys, with 99% of things in the law, there is no clear-cut, black and white answer for things. The answer is almost always going to be, say it with me, it depends. Or my favorite answer is, I don't know. It depends. It always depends. Don't you think if there was a very clear, this is the date of first use, and this answer applies to everybody. If such a thing existed, I promise I would tell you guys, but that's just not the case. Except, okay, there is an answer. There is a clear answer as to what is the date of first use. I'll tell you what it is, but you're not gonna like it. I don't think you're gonna like it. So for this, let's take a little journey. Take a little trip over to the TMEP, the Trademark Manual of Examining Procedure. The TMEP is kind of like the trademark Bible. This is kind of the guide, the rules that the examining attorneys over at the USPTO, what they go by when they're looking through applications. If most of us trademark lawyers, if any question comes up, the first place we're going to go is the TMEP. It has answers to pretty much every question that you could have. Are they clear? You know, oh, now my problem's resolved answers? Usually not, but the answers almost always exist in the TMEP. So if we want to know what is the date of first use, let's look to the TMEP. Now there are two different dates of first use. We have to specify on the application, if we're trying to get a trademark registered, a date of first use anywhere and a date of first use in commerce. What is the date of first use anywhere? Great question. Let's check out TMEP section 903.01, which is going to tell us what the date of first use anywhere is. In a trademark or service mark application, the date of first use anywhere is the date when the goods were first sold or transported, or the services were first rendered under the mark, if such use is bona fide and in the ordinary course of trade. There you go. What about the date of first use in commerce? 903.02 will give us that. In a trademark or service mark application, the date of first use in commerce is the date when the goods were first sold or transported, or the services were first rendered under the mark in a type of commerce that may be lawfully regulated by the U.S. Congress, if such use is bona fide and in the ordinary course of trade. So, dear viewer, and everyone who needs to know what is the date of first use, obviously, what question is there? The date of first use is the date when the goods were first sold or transported, or when the services were first rendered under a mark in a type of commerce that may lawfully be regulated by U.S. Congress, if such use is bona fide and in the ordinary course of trade. There. Question answered. But seriously, date of first use is generally going to be the date which you first sold the goods, provided the services under the trademark in like interstate commerce. But what exactly that means, how exactly that applies to different situations, I don't know. It depends. If I will register a trademark with my DBA for now, but in the future I want to switch for LLC, can I make changes in my trademark? Or will I need to register the trademark again, but with the LLC? If you are operating as a sole proprietor under a DBA and you get a trademark registration, then later on you form an LLC for the business. how does that affect the trademark? Typically, you're not going to have to apply, get a new trademark registration. In most cases, we can assign the trademark registration or a pending application, depending on the circumstances. We can assign it from the DBA, from the sole proprietorship, to the LLC. Basically just transfer ownership from one party to another. What business address can be used when you work from home? Lots, it depends. You can use your home address. If you're working from home, you can use your home address as your business address wherever you need a business address. Some people don't like that. You can use, depending on the situation, you can use sometimes a PO box or a private mailbox address like with UPS. That doesn't always work. Sometimes we need an actual physical street address, not just a PO box address. A good option for a lot of folks is if you go through a registered agent service, if you're going to use a corporate registered agent for your LLC or your corporation. A lot of these registered agent services also offer business address services. So you can use their address not just as the registered agent, but you can also use it as the business address, and it's typically going to be a street, an actual physical street address. Now double check, there was another comment on here that the viewer seemed to be mad at me for pushing a virtual office service provider. I'm not going to address it because it's not very nice. People love coming on the internet and talking shit, don't they? Anyway, this person said, why don't you just pay $50 a year for the registered agent and use their address? That's what it's there for. No. When you're buying registered agent service, you are buying registered agent service. You are paying $50 a year or whatever to use that company's name and address as your designated registered agent. Now, some registered agent companies also will allow you to use their address as the business address. Some will provide forwarding, mail forwarding services. Sometimes that's included in what you're already paying for. Sometimes you have to pay extra for it. But by default, just kind of general rule, if you're buying registered agent services, that's what you're getting. And you should double check with the registered agent if you are permitted to use their address as your business address as well. But anyway, that's a good option if you just need an address for your business and someone to like collect your mail, and maybe sometimes they'll scan it for you so you can see it digitally. They'll forward it to you. Like I said, I have a few registered agent companies that I work with. I actually use one for one of my businesses for the address as well. I'll link to some of those. I'll put some affiliate links down in the description for you guys to check those out. And then if you are looking for more, if you want more than just an address, if you want some more like office perks, then that's when a virtual address or a virtual office address is going to come in handy. So you'll get that business address, but you'll also get other perks like maybe, office space. If you need an office space here and there, if you need a conference room for a meeting with clients, if you want to rent a private desk for a day or something, if you need copying services, printing services, mailing services, then our virtual office is going to be a good option for that. I'm a big fan of Alliance virtual offices. My affiliate link is down in the description and a discount code for you if you want to check out Alliance. What are some good banks to establish a business checking and savings account? Can you guess what I'm going to say? It depends. It depends on what you're looking for out of a bank. Do you want low fees or no fees? Do you need some of these more techy? There's a lot of these banks that are popping up that aren't actually, they're tech companies. They're giving you like an app and a platform, and they're partnering with an actual bank. It feels like it's a bank, but they're not technically providing banking services. But there's more like, more technology stuff that you can take advantage of, or do you just want simple, plain old, a place to like house your money? So what the good ones are depends on what you're looking for. Personal experience, I use Chase for my law office, for my checking account for my law office. Some people don't love Chase, big banks. I've never had an issue with As it was no fee. I don't pay any monthly fee for the account. It's a checking account, and I'm pretty sure I went with Bluevine because no fee, and I think there was interest. You get interest on the checking account, and it was a pretty good interest rate if I remember correctly. And Bluevine has some other cool features that I liked as well. Outside of that, some of the more like, tech banks that I like are Novo is a good one, and I'm pretty sure they have no fee, free checking accounts. Lily, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Lily is a good one as well. They have some more paid features that are really cool if you're looking for some more of that technology stuff. If you already have your personal bank accounts with a specific bank and you like that bank, there's no harm in opening a business account with the same bank that you're already using. That might make it easier for transferring money between, from the bank and paying yourself into your personal account. I've got a few others that I like. I have affiliate links for some of these banks, but I'll link to all that down in the description. Are you still in Austria? Can we get a crib-like tour of the RV? So for those of you who may have missed it, I posted a short video a few months ago, and I explained that I was living in an RV at the moment. I'm not in Austria anymore. I was in Austria for about 6 months last year. I'm back in the United States now. I am going to be going back to Austria again in a few months though, which I'm excited for. But in that interim, when my husband and I got back from Austria, my father graciously let us stay in his RV for a few weeks while we figured out what our next move was going to be. And I posted a video from the RV. Unfortunately, I'm not in it anymore though, so I can't give you a tour. It wasn't a huge RV, not a whole lot for you to see there, but we will be back in Austria in a few months, so that'll be cool. If a company goes out of business, what happens to the logo? Is the trademark still valid? Assuming the question means if a company has a trademark registration with the USPTO and the company goes out of business, what happens to the logo? Strictly speaking, nothing. If a company goes out of business and it has an active live trademark registration, nothing automatically is going to happen to the trademark registration. It will continue to be registered and in existence, but it would most likely then be subject to being canceled. If the company goes out of business, I assume that means they're no longer using the logo in commerce. We talked about use in commerce, the date of first use. You have to prove date of first use. You also have to continue using the trademark in commerce. So if the company goes out of business and the logo, the trademark is no longer being used, then another party could come in and petition to cancel it for being abandoned. But then eventually what typically happens in this situation, the trademark will come up for renewal. I think there's a question about that coming up. So I'll explain that more, but the trademark will come up for renewal. The company doesn't exist, isn't using it anymore, and so it can't renew it, and so the trademark will eventually be canceled one way or the other, typically. But I guess for all intents and purposes, is the trademark still valid? There's no clear-cut answer. The trademark registration is still live and it's still there. Technically though, you couldn't really enforce it. You couldn't do anything about it if you've abandoned it, if you're not using it anymore because the company has been shut down, goes out of business. What is the best way to view and respond to an office action from the USPTO? The best way to view an office action is to go to the TSDR, the trademark status and document retrieval, tsdr.uspto.gov. Go there, type in the serial number for the trademark application, go to the documents tab, and you'll be able to pull up a copy of the office action. That's the best way to view it. The best way to respond to it is to provide a complete and thorough response that properly and thoroughly addresses all the issues in the office action. That's the best way to respond to it. It depends on what the issues are. Office actions can contain a million different issues. There can be all all sorts of different types of things that we have to address in an office action. Brings me back to the TMEP that we talked about in the first question. The TMEP, again, is going to be a great resource for figuring out how to handle issues in the office action. If you are pro se, if you don't have an attorney representing you on the application, then frankly, the best thing to do is going to be to at least consult with a trademark attorney, ideally have them handle the response for you. Because if it's like, let's say, a likelihood of confusion refusal, or maybe a merely descriptive refusal or something like that, you're going to benefit greatly from having a lawyer take care of it for you. If you are once a registered trademark, are good to go forever, what is the upkeep or maintenance? What's the upkeep or maintenance on a trademark? Is a trademark registration good forever? Yes and no. A trademark registration can, in theory, last forever, but there is some upkeep or maintenance required, which I touched on just a second ago. So after the trademark is registered, we have to file some renewal paperwork. The first filing is due between the 5th and 6th anniversary following the registration date. And then there is another one due 5 years thereafter. So between the 9th and 10th year, let's say 10 years after the registration date, and then every 10 years thereafter. So yes, you do have to keep up with these maintenance and renewal filings periodically, but as long as you do that, and as long as you continue to use the trademark in commerce, which you have to prove when you do these maintenance filings, if you do all that, then the trademark can last, the registration can last forever. All right, folks, that's all for this one. I hope you had fun. I know I sure did. We talked about a few different resources. I'll include information about those and some affiliate links down in the description. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to leave a comment, leave a question. If it's good and something generally applicable, then maybe I'll answer it in one of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aiden Durham, and I will see you next time.